Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and let's see how I did with my reading in December. Happy New Year by the way, everyone, if I didn't say that already. Yeah, December was a good reading month. I read 6 books. Okay, I guess in the beginning of the year when I used to read like 12 books a month, I would consider that a bad reading month, but right now, like, I'm happy with that. So the first 2 books I read in December were actually for a vlog. So the first book being A Princess in Theory and the second book being Get a Life, Chloe Brown. So both of them I have a full reading vlog if you guys want to check it out. But let me tell you all about a little bit about them. So A Princess in Theory, we follow the main character who keeps getting these weird emails about her being some lost betrothed to the prince. They want like her, security info so they can figure out if she's actually the princess to like some African nation. And she's like, okay, scammer. And then turns out it's true, and the prince, she really is betrothed to the prince, and he comes and finds her and actually pretends to be some waiter named Jamil in order to get to know her a little bit better and find out why her parents fled. It's a very cute romance. It has 2 black main characters. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It was really smutty. There are some tropes that you maybe have to get over a little bit, like the fake identity, because naturally then you're going to be untruthful to your spouse or whatever from the get-go. Overall though, I thought the plot was interesting, the smutty scenes were smutty, and it gave me the feels. Although it wasn't my favorite in that vlog, so I gave it 3.5 stars. But if you're a big fan of romance, I would totally recommend it. I think it was a really decent read. And then Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And this one we follow a woman who has a chronic illness, and she meets this really cute handyman in her building. And it's kind of their love story, really. I mean, this romance, what are you expecting? But it is a very cool story because you get to hear from a main character who has a chronic illness, so you really get to see what she goes through the whole day. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, maybe it's not of course it's not a universal portrayal of someone with chronic illness, but it's a first step to learning a little bit more about it. So if you're interested in that, I would definitely check it out for that reason. But also the smut was amazing, the characters were really well developed, the relationship was hella healthy. So if that's what you're looking for in your romance, like the feels, it was really about 2 2 people who have really been hurt coming together and growing and changing and accepting their shortcomings, but also appreciating their amazingness, let's call it. So I really enjoyed that one. I gave it 4 stars, and yeah, a very cute romance. Oh, forgot, actually I read another book for that vlog. I wasn't able to finish and include it in the vlog, but I did finish it later in the month, so now you can get my full thoughts. So You Had Me At Ola, we follow this telenovela star we follow this soap opera star who gets a chance to star in like a Netflix knockoff streaming service telenovela remake. This is a very cool opportunity for her because the streaming obviously is huge, and also she gets to like work with other Latina actors and all of that. And then on the other hand, we have her co-star who is a telenovela star, and he sees this opportunity as his big break. However, there's some things in his past and in his life that make it really difficult for him to be open with other people, so he always keeps to himself, with his co-stars. And it's a story about these 2 people opening up to each other and accepting each other kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. I did read a couple of Goodreads reviews, and people had a lot of issues with the 3rd act and the choices of the main character, and I admit that was super selfish what she did there. But overall, for some reason, I just got so many feels from this whole book. The smut, again, I did not expect this to have smut because it's such a cutesy cover and la. No, it has a lot of smut. Okay, be prepared for that. But overall, I think the audiobook was really well performed. The story just tugged at my heartstrings. The conflict was maybe a little bit far-fetched, but at the same time not so far-fetched I couldn't get into it. And overall, I really ended up enjoying it. I understand everyone's comments about the main character being really selfish towards the end because she makes some decisions and does not think about anyone but herself, but it was still wonderful to see. Love to see all these Latinx characters. Overall, it's just really cute, and I gave that one 4 stars as well. So a very good reading vlog. Now we move on to not so good reading vlog. And this was reading Christmas inspired books, so I decided for this vlog actually to do not just Christmas romances, but like 3 completely different genres, but all centered around Christmas. And the first book I read for this was The Christmas Killer. So this book we follow a detective who moves to a small town, and he gets a letter with like a dead bird, and in the letter it says 12 days of Christmas, 12 victims, and they're all deserved it. I was mad. So I was promised a serial killer, high stakes kind of thing. And I feel like I did not get that. There were only 3 murders. I was promised 12. And the killer was so obvious, yet so not made sense. Like, didn't really make that much sense. As in, like, there were not hints, but you just guess the person who you don't think it is, and it's gonna be them, who's the least, like, obvious person. The killings were just stabbings. Every single one was the same one. Then they skipped days, didn't even mention it. Honestly, if you promise 12 murders, I expect you to get at least to 6. Like 10 would be ideal, you know, like make it feel like this makes like stakes, like pulled up the stakes. Like you put the stakes up here and then you actually deliver the stakes were over there on the floor. I was not really happy with that one. I gave it 2 stars. I thought the writing wasn't good either. It was just like telling. It just felt like the author just like through characters was like, now I am gonna go to the precinct because I need to check the places where all the fingerprints are and see this and this. And the wife would be like, very cool, I will go to the bar because I need to talk to this person. Very well. That was a character talking, and I was like, what? Did not enjoy that. Would not really recommend this book. No. Next up we have Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I loved this book. So this is actually kind of a retelling of The Christmas Carol, where we have a modern day Scrooge, so a person who just is the worst, and they get visited by 3 ghosts on the Christmas night. Ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future, and it shows them the error of their way and they're supposed to change. But the Scrooge we follow, she did not change. So she ended up dying and ended up in this kind of like purgatory thing where she has to work as one of the ghosts on the Project Scrooge, and this year the Scrooge is hot, and we get from there. I love this. I think it's how you do a retelling right. It had all the bits from Christmas Carol, the way the plot unveiled made so much sense, everything progressed in a way that was logical, everything had stakes, the characters were well-rounded. The romance was a little bit insta-lovey, but I still really enjoyed it. And overall, I really enjoyed this. I think it's a perfect Christmas book. It got me in such a mood. It has so many Christmassy vibes, and overall a really well-told story that I enjoyed immensely. And I gave it 5 stars. And the last book I read for that vlog was In a Holidays, and I did not like it. No. So this is like a Groundhog Day concept where this woman lived through Christmas, and then on her way back she gets hit by a car and she thinks she died, but she's actually back in the plane going to the holiday. And that repeats a couple of times, and basically the concept is like, why is she repeating the day? What should she do to get out of the loop? What she's supposed to do? Blah blah blah. It was really nonsensical. I don't understand why the Groundhog Day plot point even existed. I feel like it could have done without it just as well. I don't know if I was supposed to like the romance, but I didn't. It was so basic. Like she says, I'm attracted to this person, and then she ends up with this person, and it was so like pointless. Like, why not just do the story about this holiday just normally? I guess it was too boring to do it normally, but the Groundhog Day, it was like such a minor point. It doesn't even make sense that it's there because it didn't really do much. And I hated the main character. I found her so conceited, so full of herself. She doesn't really learn. She gets more like just insufferable. She's so mean to her friends for no reason, and just her motivations and the whole reason for the Groundhog Day. It was so nonsensical. I just don't understand. I didn't really like this book. I gave it 2.5, but honestly it's probably more like a 2. I need to check what I gave it on Goodreads because it does not deserve a 3. And overall it was a major disappointment. I didn't hear that many good things about it, so I didn't have like my expectations weren't through the roof, but still they were pretty confident. Like, I was pretty confident that it was going to be good, and it wasn't, and it was a disappointment. And the last book I read was A Curse of Roses. So I read this book I have a whole dedicated ass review for it. So if you want to check it out, please do. That video is doing really bad. So if you wanted to check it out, please do. It's a historical fiction / retelling of a Portuguese queen, Isabel, who in this story is cursed, and every time she touches food it turns into roses. So it's basically about her trying to break the curse. It's a female romance. It's really, really good. I thought the execution of this weird concept was really, really good. I found the story compelling, fast-paced, maybe a tad little bit too fast-paced in the beginning. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. The romance was really good, although one of the characters was a little bit less developed than the other one. But it wasn't really a point about that. It was more about the main character coming into herself, accepting herself, loving herself, and accepting like her homosexuality and all of that. I think they offered a really good job if you want to read some more female romances or something from a non-UK, US, Canada, Australia based author. This was a really good, it was very well written, considering this isn't even the author's first language, I don't think. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I have so many thoughts. If you want to hear me discuss the themes and the language and the characters and the plot and all of that, I do that in my review, so please check it out. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars and I would highly recommend it. So if you enjoyed this video or you want to see any of my future videos, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and maybe hit the bell icon. So for that, if you do that, you will get notifications every time I post. And if you could comment and like, I would really appreciate it. It helps me out so much. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!